Hello, everybody. Aaron here, and welcome to a very special December Collins report. I had no intention of doing a Collins report this year, not until next April at least, but I had an extremely good day at an extremely good place with an extremely good friend. So, I've been mentioning this to some friends of mine for a while now. There is a place in downtown Toronto called Stormcrow Manor. It is a self-described nerd bar. So, I decided I had to check it out. I'd like to thank Rebecca Springett for bringing this to my attention. She liked the bar in a way that it timed itself so I could see her liking it on Facebook, and that was the proverbial first domino. My buddies Jason and Liana, who also know Rebecca, have eaten there, and they gave me a pretty decent review themselves. I had arranged my local Christmas card deliveries so that my friend of now 20 years, Isaac Tong, was last on the schedule. It was his birthday on the 6th of December, and I was delivering cards on the 9th of December, so I figured, okay, I'll take him to Stormcrow Manor for his birthday, and we went to Stormcrow immediately. At the behest of a few people, I actually made a reservation for us while en route. They seemed tickled by the fact that I described myself as wearing the very Doctor Who sweater that's in this video. We parked at Islington subway station because parking is extremely expensive in Toronto, and then we just trained it to Wellesley station. From there, you walk 2 blocks. It's easy to find on Google Maps. You're basically looking for a gothic horror manor in the LGBT district of Toronto, so I immediately thought of my friends on Instagram, Felicia and Cassidy. Hi, girls. Hope you're having a great night. They have their own YouTube channel, The Wild Kitties, where they do vlogs of their personal life, so please go check them out at your convenience. So yeah, this place was nerd fucking Vana. Isaac and I are not even in Stormcrow Manor yet, and I noticed that there's a dancing skeleton up on the top floor. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be taking a lot of pictures of this of this place, and I did. They're on all of my social media. The song that was playing was Prince's 1999. Overall, the music was a very decent playlist of 70s to 80s, and I love the fact that the last song Isaac and I heard before we left was Mr. Roboto by Styx. That was very apropos in relation to where we were. We walk in, and right out in front of the entrance, there is a 20-sided dice gumball machine. You pay a loonie or a $1 coin for all of my non-Canadian viewers. Turn the key like a gumball machine, and you have a 20-sided dice in your hand. So I gave my info for the reservation. I'm staring at the bathroom sign because it's in order from left to right: male, female, other gendered, Cthulhu, welcome. We're shown to our table. Just FYI for anybody who goes, if you are a group of 8 or less, you are hard capped at a 2-hour time limit. I think 9 or higher is 3 hours. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, you are hard capped, and from what I understand, it was strictly enforced. I mean, Isaac and I were out in like an hour 30, maybe, tops. Probably only like an hour 20. And we had apps and desserts, so if we had just gone for the meal, we would have been out of there in like about an hour flat. The irony was not lost upon me that Isaac and I are seated directly across from one of the bars, yet neither of us drink alcohol. The table behind my seat left behind their little loot bag or doggy bag or loot crate or whatever. The bill comes in, and inside is magic cards, and they left the magic cards behind, and I said, excuse me, someone left behind their magic cards, and they were like, yeah, just take them, no dexterity check. I was like, okay. Grab the magic cards, They're commons. I mean, they're probably worth about 10 to 25 cents each, but it just added so much more to the enjoyment of the evening for both Isaac and myself, because Isaac and I met in the South Hall cafeteria of Turner Fenton High School over Magic the Gathering. I was in the 10th grade, he was in the ninth, but he was fast enough in the classes he took where we actually had grade 12 English together a couple years later. So, this whole night basically brought Isaac's and my friendship full circle. That's how awesome the place is. This place is so in-depth as it pertains to detail for geek culture. The drink coasters have a word search on them. And not just like a couple words here or there. There's 40 words! Admittedly, I only glanced at them for like a minute, maybe two tops. And I only found like 5 words, and I'm relatively decent at word searches. Okay, so Isaac and I order an app to split called the Anti-Vampire Cheesy Garlic Bread. Both of our beverages, we both ordered a Klingon blood wine because we're both Star Trek fans, and we each ordered the Dungeon Burger, which is a burger that you can choose what you want on it. They have a full ballot, which I'm going to bring out in a moment. But the real fun of this place is rolling 20-sided dice, and it determines what type of bread, what type of cheese, what type of meat, or no meat at all if you're a vegetarian, what toppings, what premium toppings, the alignment of your burger in terms of Dungeons and Dragons. I'll explain that when I read out the ballots. The side, and then the server just adds up the base price with all the stuff you've ordered if it costs extra, and puts it at the bottom right hand corner. They seemed impressed by us because I actually, with the help of my roommate Doug, this morning went through my toolbox dice collection, and I brought a bunch of 20-sided dice of my own, and for Isaac to roll. I asked Isaac what colors he liked. He said black and blue, so I got like as many black and, well, as you can see, black and blue swirly dice as I could. They seemed impressed by that. And now I will bring out the ballots. So I'm going to start with Isaac's. You get to name your burger too. He named his Dork River Alpha because Dork River is the nickname I gave him, and he likes the Greek alphabet. My burger is called Psycho Flop Burger Number 1 because I'm just going to use traditional numbers. So I'm not going to go through all the options. I'm just going to go through what each of us rolled. He rolled a baguette bun, grilled chicken, cheddar cheese. For toppings, he rolled romaine lettuce, red onion, and tortilla chips. Elite topping, he got bacon. Sauces, I forgot you can roll sauces. He got Stormcrow signature sauce. I don't even know what that is. If you want to know, get Isaac to upload his own video. Dijonnaise and ketchup. His alignment was chaotic good, so my dice-obsessed friend Danny Bunda is probably geeking out right now over the fact that my buddy Isaac rolled her alignment of choice in Dungeons & Dragons. For those of you who don't play Dungeons & Dragons, character alignment is a 3x3 grid, so you can be any two in combination of lawful, neutral, or chaotic, and good, neutral, or evil. It goes on a 3x3 grid, so lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral neutral, or true neutral, or unaligned, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil. And he rolled fries as his side. So, on to mine. I rolled sourdough bread, a beef patty, Daya cheese, which is cheese for vegans. Deep fried pickle was my elite topping. My regular toppings were romaine lettuce, tomato, and red onion. My sauces were sour cream, ranch dressing, and sriracha aioli. For the vegans out there, vegan sriracha aioli is a sauce option. My alignment was true neutral, which I was reasonably pleased with because my default personality is chaotic neutral, and I rolled the poutine. For those of you who don't know what poutine is, who are living outside of Canada, it's fries with gravy and cheese curds. So that was those were the ballots, and as soon as I was well, actually, no. The blood wine came out before I started randomly walking around the entire restaurant, taking as many pictures as I possibly could. Most of which I'll detail in this video, or you can just follow my social media platforms. The blood wine tasted to me like a raspberry sherbet soda. Nothing wrong with it. I loved it. I finally have had a Cleon blood wine, and as a Trekkie, I'm very pleased. It's a mocktail, and for those of you who drink alcohol, you can actually randomly roll shots of booze as well. I think somebody in our room rolled a Romulan ale. Somebody got a critical miss, I think. Critical miss is tequila and hot sauce thrown together. So I immediately toured the grounds after I realized that the Rancor from Return of the Jedi was directly above Isaac's head. The staff openly encourages people to tour the grounds. They actually recommend you go downstairs to the bathroom. More on that later. There's board games everywhere. Like, there's traditional games like Operation, Jenga, Guess Who. There's Cards Against Humanity. There's a whole bunch of games I've never heard of. There's, for those of you who are into the Kickstarter board game generation, there is Exploding Kittens. I could list all the games, but that's an hour in and of itself. There's flat screen TVs with random scenery, some from Earth, some that appear to not be from Earth. There are virtual nautical windows, like if you're on a submarine, and if you look through them, you're seeing a virtual ocean with living and dead fish swimming all around the place. There's private rooms on the second floor that looked a little satanic. I don't know what they're for. I think maybe they're there for a psychic reading or something. I didn't see anybody order a psychic, but I did see signs that imply that one is available. There's posted excerpts from science fiction novels on the walls. William Gibson's Neuromancer was the first one I saw. I also saw Eyes of the Overworld by Jack Vance and Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The stairs to the bathrooms downstairs were lined with skulls and candles and signs referencing something that flew over my head, but I'm pretty sure if you saw the pictures you'd get it immediately. I want you for the Imperial Guard. The baby changing station in the bathroom for the handicapped is called a sacrificial altar and gives you instructions to lay the offering on the altar. The janitor's closet is locked eternally, but also warns you not to open because there's dead people inside. The bathroom doors look like they're from the Nostromo from the original Alien. There is copper sinks with X-pattern hot and cold taps. They look very nautical, kind of an ocean punk kind of vibe. As I'm walking out of the bathroom, there's a sign about the surveillance cameras that are, everywhere. There's surveillance cameras in restaurants. There's surveillance cameras pretty much everywhere on the planet nowadays. But the sign that warns about them also warns that there are precisely 42 video cameras on the grounds referencing the Douglas Adams series Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I thought, these guys took their surveillance cameras on premises and made them part of the overall decor and vibe of the restaurant. Holy fucking shit, that is that's a whole other level. Like that's like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 giving you 5 different post-credit scenes and Easter eggs. Um, so I'm going back up. The second floor bathroom, there I didn't see the second one, but one of them literally had all classic Marvel comic books as wallpaper. There's a tavern rules sign in the establishment that, among other rules, the main rule that caught my eye is that they ban dwarf tossing. Like, wow. The manager's office, which I was warned not to even go near because, well, obvious reasons, even that had an Overlords only sign. Like, insane. So I went back downstairs and I was told if you go through the red curtain, that's the private bar. So I went through and it is a replica of the bar from the Overlook Hotel in the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining. They had the lighting, all the booze in mirrored on the mirrored counters, everything. I'm thinking, Jesus, is there any part of geek and literary culture that this restaurant is not referencing? Like, they have run completely amok of this place, and I'm not complaining whatsoever. So I get back down. The garlic bread is on the table, and the only time in my life I've ever had more garlic on a meal was the garlic French fries at the Smokehouse Brewery in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't even know if it's there anymore. Yeah, there literally was about enough garlic in the garlic bread with cheese to kill a vampire. It's the best garlic bread with cheese I've ever had because it was still rustic. The cheese blend was awesome, and the level of garlic was insane. Returning to the ballots of the burger, I'm allergic to one branch of the cheeses because they use a chemical in the preservation that induces anaphylactic shock, so I elected to re-roll if I ever, and I did re-roll for that, which is what led to me getting Dia, and Isaac and I agreed to go in turn with him going first because he was the birthday boy, and in the toppings I decided, and then he agreed with me that we're going to re-roll if we roll duplicate toppings or sauces because that's just redundant. Although I'm pretty sure if I wrote an X2 next to mustard, I'm pretty sure they'd accommodate me. We got our meals at exactly the same time. I actually was pleasantly surprised that the sourdough was not a bun, but rather very large pieces about that big of sourdough toast, which as I said, I prefer it. The poutine was a tad salty, I'm not going to lie, but then again, I'm used to some poutines being a tad salty, and I just know not to roll poutine in the future. Isaac seemed to enjoy his. I really enjoyed mine, and I noticed. Well, I knew about this beforehand, but I noticed that, and hold on a second. The burgers themselves have their own trading cards in lieu of their alignments. So, and Isaac let me keep his chaotic good, and I have my true neutral. I'm actually going to make it a point because I'm impressed enough with the place where I am going to go again. I'm going to make it a point of going for all 9 alignments, and then I'll start ordering stuff that's not the Dungeon Burger. So when it comes to dessert, we both ordered chocolate cake a la Troy because, as I said, we're both Star Trek fans. We both love Counselor Troy, and the Counselor Troy character really, really, really loved chocolate, despite the fact that she was only half human. Bill comes to me, counting the tip, it was over $100. A lot of the toppings and options in the roll are markup because of the cost of their existence. So I really didn't mind, and it was a special occasion. I know in a regular occasion I would not have ordered an app, I would not have ordered a dessert, and I would have ordered a normal drink, not Klingon blood wine. As I'm walking out, I asked somebody to break a toonie into 2 loonies so I could get souvenir 20-sided dice. I gave a generic black and white 20-sided to my roommate Doug, and I got a red with yellow numbers one that I'm very, very impressed with. Kind of looks like a Bloody Mary or like a Tequila Sunrise, that kind of color scheme. The exit signs as we're walking out reference, but are not limited to, references to Blade Runner and Terminator. The serving staff have apparently seen things we wouldn't believe, and they refuse the right to refuse service, especially to cybernetic organisms with living tissue over their bodies and designed to kill humans. So we pointed out that the Terminator 1 from T1 would not be welcome, but the T-800 from Terminator 2 would actually be acceptable. So I'd like to thank Amy, who was Isaac's in my server, the waitress with, I think she was dressed like a mermaid. She was the one who changed my toonie. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. I hope you're watching this and that you're well in life. The servers, one bartender and one other server seemed enamored by the fact that I could actually speak Klingon and translated a few things that they were asking me. The host of the door could not have been nicer. I'm just going to thank everybody who's worked there at all. They even had cloth napkins. They got us fresh cutlery for our desserts. We could not have been treated any better. So I'm going to skip a few of the bells and whistles in the future, but I'm also going to go again. So that is it for this video, which, considering up until a few hours ago I was not planning to do one, Merry Christmas, y'all. You've got a 22-plus minute video to digest. So, until next time, which is probably in 2019, Happy New Year as well, unless I make a video between now and December 31st, which I doubt. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys are all well, have the merriest of Christmases, the happiest of Hanukkahs, the happiest of Kwanzas, the happiest of Diwalis. Whatever you celebrate in December, I hope you have the best of, and I hope you have a great New Year, and if you don't celebrate a December holiday, I just hope your year's been awesome. So until next time, I'm Aaron, and unlike Storage Wars, my show's scripted. Thanks a lot.